Hi, I'm Brian A. Boyson, Peak Performance Sales Strategist and Coach at SAP. And thanks for tuning in to the Millennial Sales Life, episode 11, titled, Are You Being Accountable? Today I'm excited to talk to you about a book that I listened to on Audible called Extreme Ownership, written by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, two highly decorated Navy SEALs that not only served our country, but were extraordinary leaders, and then came back and then trained the next generation of Navy SEALs going out there to serve their country. So they've now gone on and are leadership coaches and have the training company to go out there and bring the principles from the battlefield to other aspects of life, business, and different things. So today is all about extreme ownership and how you can be more accountable and a better leader. So I just want to share with you some of the lessons I've learned. So I'm going to try to go as quick as I can because it's a big book and I can't really get into all the stories. I mean, it really goes through each chapter and tells real life application in the field, in the battles, and brings the principles to life. So highly recommend it. Check it out. I've listened to it. I've adopted a lot of the principles, and I'm going to share with you some of those today. All right. So it's broken into three parts, right? So extreme ownership, I got notes, so I'll be looking down, all right? Three parts. Part one, win the war within, right? Part two, laws of combat, and part three, sustaining victory, right? So if we take a look at it, where's the first war always start, right? Win the war within. That's taking a good hard look at yourself and taking responsibility for where you want to go, right? So some of the things in this chapter, it's all about accountability. It's about being proactive. It's owning where you are, right? So it's not my patch. It's not, I have a bad manager. It's not that, my team members aren't pulling their weight. That's all focused energy. It's, okay, what skill do I need to be better, or how do I show up more, or what plan do I need to put in place to achieve success, or what do I need from my management or my team members to move forward? So taking responsibility, look into the mirror, right? When I decided that I was no longer going to point fingers at other people or other things, and I was to take full responsibility for where I was, then things started to blow open, okay? So that's the first chapter. Quit blaming others and take 100% responsibility for where you are. All right. So the next one, chapter 2, no bad teams, only bad leaders. All right. And there was a great story in the book where they highlighted this, where there was a bunch of teams training, and one team kept winning over and over and over again. Another team was struggling, and they were blaming each other and yelling, and they were carrying, I believe, canoes or some type of a weight on top of them as a team through an obstacle course, right? So they decided to switch out the leaders, took a team that was crushing it, took that leader and put it with the team that wasn't doing well, and then put the leader that was on the team not doing well on the other team that was highly performing. And what happened? The team that was highly performing ended up going down in the middle of the pack, and the team that was down at the bottom ended up coming up and winning, right? So same people, different leader, different results. So when we take a look at that, that's really about setting a leader, taking accountability for setting the strategy, and also cultivating junior leaders around them to help pull their weight and get things done. I'm gonna have to pick this up a little bit because there's a lot of content here. The next one is believe. Next chapter is believe, right? You need to believe that you can do something in order for others to believe, right? And that's important, especially the young salesperson. Sometimes we don't really believe in ourselves. And when you decide that, hey, I believe that I'm gonna do something with this customer. I believe that we can make this a bigger opportunity. I believe that this is going to be a tough journey, but if we come together and we provide great insight and deliver the most value that we can and be customer focused, that we can do something, right? People can sniff that out and smell if you believe or not, and so believe. That's something that's very important if you want to be successful. The next one, check the ego. Ego gets in the way sometimes, especially of high-performing people and leaders, and you need to make sure that you can check the ego at the door, right? So that really means, the message there was be humble, don't be afraid to fail. Nobody's bigger than the team, right? So when you lose, it's your fault. When you win, give credit to everybody else, right? So those are the biggest concepts that I got from Check the Ego. All right, so the part 2 of the book, Laws of Combat, all right? So first law, cover and move. This is all about teamwork. At SAP, we have value, build bridges, not silos. So you want to make sure that you're looking out for your people and you have their best interests in mind, and then you're working together to make sure that you can all move towards the mission at hand or the goal. One of the things that I did at SAP to really build around this cover and move was articulate win themes, not only with the customer, but with my team internally. So I'd pick 3 to 5 win themes that we could all rally around and circulate that with my customer and make sure that they were, those were important to them. And then I would bring it back internally to my team, and then we would cover and move, right? Go execute against that, come back, make sure that we're always working towards these win themes, because that was most important to the customer. Next one is simple. At SAP, we've been have a slogan as well, run simple, simplify everything that you possibly can. If your team doesn't understand it, if it's confusing, if it's lengthy, people are gonna check out, right? So one of the things I've done, and really this has been around communication, is if I was gonna write something, it would start off in a paragraph, then I would relook at it, then I would move it to bullet point form, and then I would try to reduce as many words as possible to make sure that I was as clear and concise as I could be, right? So simplify things. The simpler they are, the easier they are to understand, and people will actually maybe take action against them. The more complicated, the email goes into the junk or the get to it when I have some time, and you don't get anything done. So simplify everything. The next one is prioritize and execute, right? We got so much to do that we got to stay focused on what matters most, right? And that all goes back to the mission and the goals. And one of the quotes is relax, look around, and make a call, right? So we get overwhelmed sometimes with all the things we have to do in this sales job, and all the people we have to satisfy, and all the targets that we have to make and hit. So sometimes the best thing you can do is relax, take a deep breath, look around, and then make a decision, move forward, right? So it also, this chapter is about contingency plans, right? You can always plan for something, but then if you get hit in the face, or if that explosion goes off out there in the field, then you need to have some backup plans. So what we try to do here is put ourselves in the shoe of the customer, or put ourselves in the shoe of the other team members internally, and say, hey, what's important to them? If they react this way, how could we make it more valuable and solution focused for them? What's option B and C, right? You have to be flexible, and my thing was go to where the customer wants to go, because we're here to serve them, and that's our best bet. All right, I'm gonna move through a little bit quicker here. Decentralized command, it's basically empower the team, right? You can set the strategy, you can bring them into the mission, but you gotta let them go do what they do best. You can't micromanage and all that, and that takes trust, and if you do that, then you can expand and you can get more done, right? So last part of the book's sustain victory. So first is the plan. So you wanna make sure the plan is effectively communicated, meaning that you're describing the end state. The source involves team members. You're sourcing ideas from the team members, and you're allowing for questions and integrating their feedback, and give them some weight into what the final plan is going to be, right? Because people, when they get into the plan and they contribute to it, they're more likely to deliver on it. All right, leading up and down the chains, the next chapter. This is very important. More so managing up than for an early talent, because you need to understand what your VP management wants from you. You need to document it. You need to make sure that you do those things so that you're building that credibility, and that you're showing that that you're listening to them and that you're executing against the targets that you have, right? So one of the things that I would do sometimes early in my career, I'd have a one-on-one, there'd be a lot said, I didn't take notes, I forgot some of the stuff that I was supposed to do, and then I came back to the next week and I didn't do them, and it wasn't a very good one-on-one, right? So make sure that you track all that and you manage up appropriately. The last two here is decisions and uncertainty. Being a leader and having extreme ownership, you really need to step up and make decisions. And a lot of us can get paralyzed by fear and inaction, and we want to make sure we have 100% correct solution, which there is no such thing. So you got to gather as much data as you can and make a decision, because if you don't make decisions, then that's inaction and you're not moving anywhere. And the last piece is the dichotomy of leadership. All right, and I'm going to bring this one out. It's kind of the yin and yang here, right? So a good leader, I'm going to read this from the notes, must be confident but not cocky, courageous but not foolhardy, competitive but a gracious loser, attentive to details but not obsessed by them, strong but have endurance, a leader and a follower, because you have to follow sometimes, humble, not passive, aggressive but not overbearing, quiet but not silent, calm but not robotic, logical but not devoid of emotions, and close with the troops or team members, but not so close that one becomes more important than the other or more important than the good of the team, right? So be able to execute extreme ownership while exercising decentralized command is critical, and a good leader has nothing to prove but everything to prove. So that's it. That was extreme ownership and sharing some insights there, and hopefully that you found that valuable. If you like it, please comment, share, engage. Love to hear from you, and I'll leave you with what I always leave you with. Rise up every day.